right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Radiant Damage Podcast. I'm Paladin Ashley. Joining me today are my fellow Paladins, Harley and Jake, and a special guest, our cleric for the day, Alyssa. Cleric Alyssa. She's my best friend, so everybody be nice to her. Okay. Or I will kill you. We're starting out with...
Well, we always need a cleric, so, you know.
Like the paladins would be the holiest ones to commit murders.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
They are the holy murderers.
If you're
Injustice.
evil, I have to kill trolls. Okay, so anyway, so we've got a lot to talk about today. There's a lot going on in the Geekdom today. We've got a new series that just dropped, The Witcher. The whole season's out. I've only watched the first episode, but oh my god, I love it. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk, of course, about the latest Star Wars movie. And I have my notes up here like a true professional. And we're going to talk a little bit about video games we like if we have time. We're also going to talk about our favorite Christmas movies. It's going to be the first subject. And later on, I'm going to intro an interview that I actually did a few days ago with a fellow gamer and cosplayer. Her name is Angelique. She is awesome. It was fantastic. It was super fun talking to her about diversity in video games. So we've got a lot to cover. First off, though, let us start out with Christmas movies. It's the Christmas season. So what are y'all's favorite?
Oh, it's Christmas?
This is how I normally dress. My normal everyday outfit. So
you are Mrs. Claus, aren't you? That's what you said.
I am. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell the children. Okay. It's a surprise. Anyway, so what are y'all's favorite Christmas movies? Who wants to start with favorite Christmas movies?
I guess I'll go first since I'm the old man here.
He's usually he's the dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Old man Harley's got to start first, I guess. So, you know, been around technically the longest, I guess. All right, so classic Christmas list. You got your classics, your Rudolphs, your Elves, your Grinch Stole Christmas, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, of course, Jingle All the Way, because of course, Die Hard, because it's a Christmas movie. It is. Home Alone 1 and 2. You got to get your Home Alone double feature in. And let's see, for movies, Krampus, that's a good one. A horror comedy. That one's great. Throw that in there. You got to mix your Trick or Treat with your Krampus right after. Gremlins, also a Christmas movie. Very fun.
Oh, it is.
It is actually.
It really is.
It actually literally is. Yeah.
And very dark with
Very
the Christmassy parts.
Okay.
Dad in a
You
chimney.
got to mix in the light and the dark with it.
His dad died in a chimney. That's what backstory for one of the characters. Spoiler alert, sorry.
Yeah. Spoilers for a 30-plus-year-old movie now.
I watched Gremlins the first time when I was 5. I shouldn't have.
Oh, yikes. That's your tragic backstory.
That's my tragic backstory.
Sorry, Harley, go ahead.
Sorry, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
My bad.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Jake, you want to go next?
I watched all kind of inappropriate movies when I was like 9.
Same.
My aunt showed us Pretty Woman when I was like 8. So yeah, that's not exactly
Oh.
children's movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, that's a whole different
That's your
reason.
tragic backstory.
That's a whole
Yeah.
to be a tragic backstory.
Yeah.
True. Saw too much. You saw too much of Julia Roberts at a young age.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Man, 8 years old in your prime.
Pretty much.
What about you? What was or did you have another one, Jake?
Oh, I was gonna say the Grinch. I mean, that's the
Oh,
first
yeah.
one that comes.
Absolutely.
That's like, I mean, the animated, the Jim Carrey. I still haven't seen the new one though. Like the one that came out like, what was it, 2 years ago with Cumberbatch? I haven't seen that one. So.
Oh.
I haven't either.
seen it either. Did you see it?
I tried to watch it. It's,
Uh-oh.
I mean, he's not really, in my opinion, he's a part of society. You know, in the Grinch, the point is that he's away from it. So it's kind of like see the heart in it.
Yeah,
he is intragrain. He's shopping. He has a neighbor who he talks to. And so I couldn't really get through it. It didn't seem horrible, but I just wasn't interested because it seemed like he was too... The only time I want the protagonist to be a bad guy really.
Yeah.
And he was too normal for me.
Like
It wasn't
the
bad.
point-
Like it wasn't good enough for me to keep watching, so I don't know if it got better.
He had one job, and it was to be the Grinch, and he didn't do it.
Also,
Like,
Cumberbatch did like a weird American accent, and it was like I didn't get it. I didn't quite get it.
What state are you from, sir? Louisville, USA.
Yeah, part of the Grinch, he's supposed to be isolated, which is why
Yeah.
he's
That's a big
doesn't,
point.
like anyone. So yeah.
It's like why the Grinch? Yeah, very strange, odd character choice there. So any other Christmas movies that you like to watch around this time of year, the most wonderful time of year, Jake?
Gonna add on I'll Be Home for Christmas with Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I watched that the
Oh
other night.
man,
That
I
is a
forgot
super
about
classic.
that movie.
That is a super classic one. Yeah. You said a lot of them, like Home Alone, Jingle All the Way. One, not number two. I didn't even attempt to watch that one.
I didn't
Oh,
even
same.
know there was a 2. So.
There was one with
There's a third?
Larry the Cable Guy that for some reason came out.
Ah,
Yeah.
I should have known.
So, yeah. I didn't even try it, so
Oh my
those are my
god,
go-tos.
nice.
It can't hurt you if you don't watch it.
I also like Deck the Halls is another good one with Danny DeVito and what's his name? Matthew Broderick.
Oh
They're in
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Deck the
Matt
Halls.
Rogers exists.
Yeah. What was the other? There was another one I can't think of right now. I'll come back to it. Yeah, I can't think of it.
Okay. Awesome list. Very, very cool. What about you?
My favorite has to be because it's just my classic, The Nightmare Before Christmas, because it's both a Christmas movie and a Halloween movie. I love it so much. And my new favorite is Klaus on Netflix. That's the new Christmas movie, and I really, really like it. It's very endearing and charming. But Nightmare Before Christmas is always like it'll always be the one for me.
Oh yeah.
That and The Christmas Story are classics too. So.
All right.
For sure.
I never liked Christmas Story, but only because for the
They
first
played it.
12 years of my life, my family made us watch it as children every single year.
More of your tragic
Oh,
backstory.
More of my tragic backstory. I'm like, as a child, I like a little baby where I don't care about things very much. You make me really not care about this.
Okay.
This was
That'll do it.
super boring for a 40-year-old.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
So it made me hate it because I didn't have the option. It was like it got to the point where they'd mention it and they'd only mention it, not even trying to make us watch it anymore, but just to hear us groan. Because, and that was it. They wanted that nostalgia of hearing how much they made us hate this genuine movie. Because when I look back on, because I just wouldn't watch it. I was not old enough to appreciate it whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so being older, I'm like, I know the story plot. I'm like, oh, no, I get why people like it, but I don't think I can. It's too traumatic, apparently.
I don't think I've actually watched it the whole movie in probably like 6 years or so. Like, cause like you just said, it's on all the time every year.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've actually finished watching the movie in years. So,
Dude,
Oh, wait.
what?
I was thinking of the wrong movie.
Whoops.
oh,
Which
Okay.
movie was
I
it?
was thinking It's a Wonderful Life, I think.
Oh,
Isn't that black and
oh, yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's a
Christmas
black and
Story
white
is
one.
a little boy.
wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that
I've
one-
Actually,
That
never
one they
seen
didn't.
it.
Yeah, no, my parents didn't make me watch that one.
Okay. So that's
Uh,
I know,
It was like
Christmas.
different.
Christmas Story. They play it for 24 hours on Christmas, like,
oh yeah.
yeah, it's a wonderful
back
life.
to back.
That was the one where I was like, I'm too young to appreciate this. I'm too little. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Christmas Story's fine.
No, that makes
I've never
100%
seen it.
sense. Yeah.
Oh, The Christmas Story or
I've
Wonderful
never
Life?
seen The Christmas Story. I've never
Oh.
seen that movie, and I don't plan to watch it.
I've never seen it either.
Okay, it's very un-American of me. I have
I've
seen
never
it.
seen it.
What was that, Jake?
No, I've never seen it either.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm so glad I'm not
Yeah.
alone.
No, they play it every year on Christmas, back to back to back for the whole day, and I just
Mm.
never
When,
got time
when,
to
they're,
watch it.
when they're too aggressive with trying to get you to watch it, it kind of is a turnoff.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I watch A Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's aggressively forced upon you as a child.
Yeah.
There was
That'll
wacky
kill
one.
Christmas
I want
joy
to-
in you.
Yeah. Well,
As-
you know what? That's really dark because It's a Wonderful Life is about a dude who's on the brink of committing suicide.
Yeah. See, yeah.
That's
I didn't even get that until I was older. And I was like, why did you want us to watch this so bad? We didn't have I had my ADHD was so bad. I didn't know.
yeah. Yeah. Not a great mix. Not a great mix. So anybody else have any Christmas things they want to add to this? Oh yeah, I also like Nightmare Before Christmas. I will go ahead and put that out there. That's a huge favorite of mine. I do love Tim Burton movies, even though I may not like him as a person.
Yeah. I count Batman Returns as a Christmas movie. So.
Oh, that's fantastic!
That's
Okay,
a good.
really hot take. I love that. I love that movie. It's amazingly cheap.
I still watch that movie. It's really good.
It's a feel good, you know? It's so hilariously cheesy. I love it. Like Mr. Freeze's one-liners are golden. I just love his puns.
Oh, you're thinking of Batman and Robin.
I am. Damn
Yeah,
it. I am.
the Tim Burton one.
You're
The
thinking
one
of the
with
Tim
Tim.
That's still it's still a classic. It's okay.
You know,
Technically, it's still a classic. You're right.
Just
Yeah.
classic.
it
for the
is.
wrong reasons.
Schumacher one. I'm gonna be honest. I'm so
The
sorry.
right reasons.
That was
Those
definitely
puns are the right reasons.
Dude.
Yeah.
I might edit that out. I'm gonna be honest because I just don't want to hear the trolls. Like when you make it.
You gotta leave it in. Brave the troll.
Harley, no. What do you want? What do you want to happen to me? I'll be crucified.
Look, listen, it's a classic whether it's good or not.
Yeah.
And you're right, Mr. Freeze one-liners are classic now, so
Fantastic one-liners.
it counts.
Yes, very, very cool. Hey, I just made one. Anyway, basically, the next thing that we were going to talk about was what's everyone's favorite video game right now?
Currently?
Yes, currently.
Well, I'll start first because it's going to be real simple. I don't really play any video games right now because I'm an old man. So technically, I don't have a favorite video game right now. So I'll let you guys take this one.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Team Dad.
I could cheat.
What I'm here for.
I can cheat and just say Tomb Raider. I mean, I can't get past that. That series has been great. I love it. Talking about the reboots, not the reboots. There's also Spider-Man on PS4. That's still another great one. I haven't played in a while.
Spider-Man. That's right.
I haven't played in a while, but it's still pretty good. Control, I haven't beat it yet, but Control has been really good too. So those are my three, I guess I'll put out there.
You totally don't have to beat it for it to be your favorite. That is completely acceptable.
I would say Ultimate Alliance 3, that Marvel game I kept complaining about on Facebook. But I was complaining for a reason, and it frustrated me so much. So I'm not gonna conclude it.
Oh yeah, that's an MMO, right?
It's yeah. It made me hate Corvus Glaive.
Oh yeah. I mean, who really liked him in the first place? Let's be real. He's a bad guy, so it's fine. Okay, so I know you're not really a gamer, but you feel free to contribute anything you want.
I mean, I like watching other people play video games, especially if they're emotive when they do it. I'm not gonna act like I never watched PewDiePie. I'm not gonna act like I never watched Markiplier. I'm just not gonna pretend I don't do that.
These days I just watch Let's Plays as well, so that's how I get my gaming in. I just watch other people play games. Like, that looks like fun. They can make funny jokes while they're playing it. That's cool. Works for me.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. Like I like the commentary more than anything.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the indie games that they've played. I forget the names, but they're like little RPGs with like it's almost like the one where it's 2D like animation and they're moving the character Undertale.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good. I really liked watching people play that. The only game I've ever played really is Plants vs. Zombies. I really got into that all the way through. I finished that whole little game, and it kind of counts, but sometimes I feel like it doesn't. But I liked it
it
all.
counts.
100%. That was one
game
video
was
game.
fun. I got into that for a little bit. That was fun.
And Candy Crush, but I'm not counting that.
I got into Candy Crush, and then I got out of it whenever I worked very briefly, like literally I worked one day at a temp job for this chemical company or something. And it was just like doing data entry, and it was so boring. I literally asked for a different job. Because I have ADHD too. Anyway, they were obsessed with this game. They were obsessed to the point with Candy Crush, to the point where I was like, no, man. No, this is scary territory. Like this shit is crack. Like I can't. I
was there for a while where I would close my eyes for long and I would see the candies.
Yes!
And I was like, nope, no, that's weird.
Yeah,
that's too weird. I need to stop.
But to be fair, that's also happened to me with like a lot of like handheld games.
Yeah.
Like Pokemon, also that happened to me too, where I would just like close my eyes and like there was still something happening in my eyelids, and I was like, it's playing too long.
Yeah, those kind of games I noticed you don't blink when you play those games. You ever notice that? You just kind of staring at it the whole time. I think that's why you just don't blink at all.
Yeah.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
That's how they send their mind rays.
Something like that.
Anyway,
well, now I'm just afraid.
Right. It's okay. Don't be afraid. It's all right. Mrs. Claus has your back.
Okay.
Okay. So my favorite video games right now, my favorite of all time is always going to be Dragon Age. It's always going to be my favorite series. My favorite game from that series is always going to be Inquisition, unless Dragon Age 4 ends up being better, which here's hoping. Here's hoping that it even improves on that. But so far, that's like the perfect game to me. And Colin is Bay. It's so fun. I'm sorry, Dad. I disappointed you.
Why is that disappointing?
He's just tired of my nonsense.
Oh no.
He
Doesn't
heard you
faze
say
me anymore.
That was the lie. Using millennial speak.
Unironically.
So then I also love everybody else has said their favorite games, right? Okay, cool. Just making sure. So I also love The Witcher 3, and I have not beaten it yet. And that was another reason I said it's totally fine, because I'm hoping it's fine for me to say. One of my all-time favorite games now. And I do love Legend of Zelda as well. But yeah, right now I'm currently playing The Witcher. Is there any game that y'all are currently playing?
I haven't actually really been playing anything like consistently. Like I stopped playing Control. I was playing that for a while, and I just kind of stopped. And I've been getting kind of into DC Universe Online again. That was like an MMO RPG. I used to pay for it. That's how deeply I got into it. Like I actually subscribed and played monthly. But then it's I stopped doing it because I just fell out of it, but I've been getting kind of back into it. In case you guys don't know, you can create like a hero or villain. You get mentored by like Batman or the Joker, depending on, or Lex Luthor, just depending on what side you're on. So it's a pretty good zone out game, I guess. When you're just like midnight, you just want to zone out. That's what it's for me now. Yeah.
Nice. So, yeah. Okay. So, how about you, Harley? You're not playing anything right now?
Not right now, but I guess I could list my old school favorite games, which your classics, your Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. I played a lot. Mega Man. I played a lot of Mega Man as a kid. Me and my best friend used to play Mega Man all the time. We would borrow each other's games and beat the other one for the other one all the time. So that was always fun.
Nice. How about you? Are you playing anything in the moment?
Nope.
That's okay.
I've only ever actually played Plants vs. Zombies.
Okay,
sometimes I think I could get into Final Fantasy Online, but probably not. Like I always try because I have so many people who I love who are gamers, but I'm just not one.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, I personally am playing The Witcher 3 right now, and it is fantastic. I'm almost at the end. I'm literally like prepping for the final showdown or whatever.
Any more demon fetuses?
No, thankfully, thank God.
Just the one?
Yeah, just the one. And honestly, it's a one and
Just
done.
the
Like I could not deal with any. I'm already, you guys, I am scarred from that game because of that quest. Like I had to stop playing for a couple of months because of that quest. Like if you've already played the game, you know what we're talking about. God.
Was it that quest or was it the one with all the kids that got eaten?
It's like a one quest line, but
Oh.
yes, but it's also yes. I mean, yeah. So if you've already played, you know what we're talking about.
Oh, spoilers.
That's okay. That's all right. You're good. You're fine. So I mean, the game's been out for several years.
Okay.
So anyway, yes, it's a fantastic game, and it is apparently now a fantastic series. Oh my God! Look at that
segue.
Nailed it. So, you guys ready to talk about the Witcher series with Henry Cavill that just dropped on Netflix?
Yes, that's their yes.
I have not seen it yet, so I won't have much to say other than I plan to watch it. So
That's okay. Okay, so you are excited about watching it?
yeah, I actually really want to see it. So
Nice.
just haven't gotten to it yet.
Cool.
I saw the first 5 minutes or so before we started. I thought I was just watching it, but I didn't have time. But yeah, it was actually like, what was he fighting? Some sort of spider, Stranger Things monster that sort of looked like.
Oh, that was horrible.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was watching that. I saw that, and then he's at the bar or the tavern, so I'll
So,
probably finish it
They're
later.
called
But
like a Kikimara, I think is what they're called.
The
in
first
show.
episode, they fight spider-like creatures.
It's a literal
Yeah.
it's not a spider, but it's
Okay.
like a big old.
Does it
Like
look
a-
like a spider?
It has spider
yeah,
like
Okay.
yeah.
Because Michael was watching the first episode when I was leaving. So he's arachnophobic. So
Whoops. I mean, yeah, and it was really funny because spoiler for the first like 5 seconds of the show, the first episode. But I was literally watching it. There is a deer, and the deer comes on screen.
Okay.
He's getting a drink, right? This little deer, and it's literally like a baby deer. Okay, it's really cute, or maybe a fawn or something.
Oh, Bambi's not going to make it through the
Yeah.
episode, is it?
I know, and the thing is, my dog loves animals, and like when he sees animals on screen, he just tunes in and he starts whining because he wants to play with them. He wants to be best friends with them. And so he saw the deer, and my husband and I were like, no, sweetie, because we know what's gonna happen if there's a deer on screen.
yeah,
And we're like, no, come here, Ace. And so sure enough, yeah, that huge monster comes out of the water, right, and bites it and tosses it or whatever. It actually manages to survive that. But then Geralt
to immediately die.
But then Geralt beats the monster, and then he just tells the deer, he's like, "This just really isn't your day, is it?" And he kills it, off screen because he's got to eat. I mean, he's got to eat something. He got himself a wounded deer. He was putting it out of its misery. It was going to die. It had a huge gash taken out of it. So he actually was being really nice, but it's sad. You know what I mean?
Mercy kill.
Yeah, it's still sad. I know. And spoilers for you, sweetie. I'm sorry. That is something that happens in the first few seconds.
I'm sure I'll have this say several times during. I know what I'm getting into when I start watching that show.
Yeah,
I know. I'll be prepared, but I'm gonna be sad, damn it, and then I'll get over it.
I was sad. I was upset. I was like, no!
I never want to see deer on media ever. They're gonna die. They just always die.
Yep.
Hashtag deer lives matter, okay?
Deer life.
Me too. Okay. Damn it.
Happened in Netflix's Castlevania too. The deers got taken out.
No. I mean, apparently they're delicious, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate side effect of being delicious. Yeah. Okay, so the Witcher series, I've only seen the first episode. Spoiler-free review. It's pretty fantastic. I did not really watch Game of Thrones, but I've heard everyone saying that this show is what Game of Thrones wishes it was, including the books. And I'm like, oh, dang, that is really, really impressive. The fight scene.
I hear hearing a lot of Game of Thrones depression. Just wanted to pop in and say that real quick.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, no, it's an unfortunate circumstance of being a Game of Thrones fan and like really hard fan. Like, I personally never really got into it. I watched the first like 6 episodes, and I'm still trying to get through more of it eventually. But
the beginning's rough. You gotta stick with it.
It happens, and I know I can't watch it.
Exactly, I
can't
know
watch that
it's
show.
depressing.
I know I will. I am not built for that show. That is not. I am not this target audience. I like to be happy, so I shouldn't.
How dare you like? What a strange thing.
I know it's very offensive to most people who create shows and things, but there's a few niche ones that cater to me, and that's where I go.
Because everyone in everything, parents have to die, and like people to have tragic backstories, and it's like, okay, no, they don't.
Yeah.
The C is a really good show where the parents do not die.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
a really refreshing show. It's Jason Momoa. It's on Apple TV. Watch it if you can. It's actually really good. The production value is really, really good too. Anyway, totally different subject, but
it's just they don't want to work with the responsibility, because usually if you have parents, then like you probably unless if they don't want the parents to be bad, then that means they have to deal with them being involved in things. Yeah, because that's how. And they don't want to add that. It's like it's normally a bad tell on the writers, really, because it means that they don't want to have to work around it. Because a lot of hijinks happen.
This is the thing, because like
parents that would be like, "Hey, stupid."
I know it's a big thing, and like
like the Little Mermaid, that one comic with like the Little Mermaid. If Ariel's mom was still alive, like it never.
She was like, it's a crush. Let her have it. She'll get over it if you leave it alone.
She's a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a huge thing with books, because like when they're dealing with young characters, like, so where were the parents the whole time? Like, they're out fighting crime, and all these monsters are like, their parents are just home doing nothing. So they kind of have to be tragic.
Although, because they're like, you can't have all this action with these kids unless the parents are dead. But Kim Possible.
Oh my God, yes.
It totally just allows you to be a part of it somehow, and it makes the story better. It means you have to think more on how it would be, especially if you're going for a more realistic show, because clearly Kim Possible, like, there are clearly things that's like, okay, this probably wouldn't happen, but it's also a cartoon. Yeah. So if you're going for more realistic, but it's just like, you can do it if you try. And people
I agree.
That extra effort.
You just have to make the whole family superheroes.
To make find a way. You gotta find a legitimate reason for the parents to be around, but not unaware that their kid is like a demigod or something like that. Yeah. So.
Exactly. Yeah. So Geralt doesn't have any parents.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't have any parents.
The Witcher's not a great example, but that fight scene though, okay, that one fight scene in this first episode of The Witcher has gotten better reviews critically and from like the audience than like everything in Game of Thrones, like all the action in Game of Thrones, and it's really sad but true. I saw the fight scene; it was so good. It's like they actually knew what they were doing when they choreographed the sword fights. I loved it. It was so cool. And yes, he does dismember people like he does in the game, so be aware of that. Exactly. He does cut somebody's head off.
Good to know.
Immediately. Nilfgaard is also apparently not a force to be reckoned with. So please beware. That's a really intense scene, which is this city being sieged by Nilfgaard. Oh my goodness, yeah. If you're someone who's sensitive to, this isn't the show for you. If you're someone who's like super sensitive to like, characters choosing to die over being captured because of how bad the force capturing them is. That's,
hey man.
Yeah.
Is there
take any way you can get out?
Yeah, exactly.
I know in Game of Thrones, one of the reasons I knew I could never watch it is because sometimes things would happen to ladies and they would be quite graphic, and not in their will. So is that in The Witcher at all? Is there, or do they mostly just have the regular violence, not so much the sexual violence? Is what I'm asking.
Okay, the first episode is all that I've seen.
Okay.
But they have only mentioned it. It's been mentioned. It was mentioned like twice the first episode, but it has not happened. In the first episode, huge disclaimer, I don't
first
know.
Episode.
Yeah.
But if I got to the game,
Just so we know.
did you see any of it? Like maybe not, if it got spread up, but I know in Game of Thrones it happened like to main characters and on screen. That's why I knew, I was like, I'm pretty sure this isn't the show for me. I can appreciate doing that because it's super realistic, but it's not for me.
There was no sexual assault in the game that you can see. Obviously, again, that happens in stories.
If it happens, then
but
that's
like,
different. It's just like really,
At least and I've played a lot of hours. I've played a lot of side quests. I've done a lot of stuff trying to be a little bit completionist.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen anything like that. And there is even there are plenty of times when like stuff like that is either about to happen or like you catch dudes being creepy and you can totally kill the shit out of them. That's pretty good. So
if that happens, that I'll watch.
Oh yeah.
If I know they're gonna be like brutally murdered right after,
Super brutally.
Get some nice vigilante justice going.
Exactly. I mean, you can play your Geralt's totally like he is in the books, which is apparently really selfish and kind of a jerk. Or you can do like what I do, which is a lot of vigilante justice, and I play my Geralt much more like apparently how he is in the show. He's a lot more. He does try to remain neutral because he is a Witcher, but he's not doing it to be an asshole. He's doing it because he's like, I genuinely feel like this is petty and I don't want to be a part of this. Which is completely fair, and I literally have done that in the game before. I'm like, no, this is y'all's problem. This is stupid. I'm going out. Got better things to do.
I'm SpongeBob.
I know that. So, anyway, I know that y'all haven't like seen the series yet, but we can talk more about it once we've all watched it. So getting back into it, this is probably a good time to segue into the interview. I did have a really great conversation, which I'd love to share with you guys, with a gamer and cosplayer named Angelique. She was super awesome, and she talked to me a lot about diversity in video games, her opinions on that. I'm just going to link it down below. I might get lazy, you guys, I'm sorry. If I get lazy, it'll be a link in the description. You'll be able to watch it on our channel for sure, around the same time that goes up. So, and I guess we're going to talk mainly about The Rise of Skywalker next. We're going to talk just a little bit about it without any spoilers, and then we might get into spoiler territory in a few minutes. When that happens, I think Harley said he's going to head out like SpongeBob theme. He is not spoiled. He's maintained his innocence so far. So
don't want to ruin the streak tonight.
Right, exactly. I don't want to ruin it for you. So I don't want to be that guy. So what do you guys feel? What have you seen so far about the mixed reactions online, and has it made you nervous going into the movie since you guys haven't seen it yet?
I've only seen 3 brief Twitter reviews of it, and they all say they have some problems with it, but overall they enjoyed the movie and the experience. So that's all I've seen from it.
I've seen a lot of like JJ kind of undid some stuff, maybe. I've seen people complain about that. I've seen people praise it. So it's been a lot of back and forth with that.
Yeah.
I've seen, yeah. It's been pretty mixed. I don't know much about. Well, I did get spoiled, but I won't say what I got spoiled. So.
Yeah, that sucks, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It wasn't me though. It was not me, y'all.
No. It's
She didn't do it. She didn't do it.
Twitter's a dangerous place.
I would get Force Ghost.
I actually got spoiled on a post on Facebook. It was a comment section about PewDiePie. And someone posted an actual picture of something. And so, yeah, that kind of spoiler.
Comments is just dangerous.
It's hard to avoid
Sometimes there are,
in unexpected ways, because spoilers for Star Wars, but just YouTube comments in general on bigger, more super popular people.
Yeah,
It's
it's true, because they're all
exactly
trying to be edgy, they're all trying to get in their memes, their 5 seconds of click fame.
it's exactly how I got spoiled with Han Solo. Like it was an actual picture of him being stabbed by Kylo Ren. So yeah,
Wow.
and that was on like a CNN post. So it was like that just tells you it's literally anywhere.
Yeah.
So
That's awful, dude. So has it made you like feel any anxiety, like any anxiety going into it, or do you feel like whatever, like, critics are critics, I'm gonna form my own opinion?
yeah, I mean that's how I usually do it. I mean I think ever since they trashed Man of Steel, you guys might disagree with me. I just have not cared what critics say at all. So anytime I go into something like this, even if it's like really divisive, like Assassin's Creed, they trashed it, and I was like, this isn't that bad. So yeah, I don't care. I might like it, I might not.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I'm about the same. My excitement level is exactly the same. I'm still hyped to see it. I'll see it when I see it, and I'll probably enjoy it.
Nice. I like that attitude. So
I mean, it's just you can't really let people sway how you think about it. I mean, you can look at it, take it in consideration, but if they're gonna really tell you how to like it or if you should like it or not, it's like I had a whole conversation with somebody for like an hour about that last Fantastic Four movie and why he said I was gonna hate it. It wasn't good, so he took the win on that one because it wasn't good. But still, you can't let people sway you.
Hey, you guys remember how excited I was for the new Fantastic Four, and it didn't work out well for me either. So I was hyped for it too. I was like, cool, hardcore sci-fi Fantastic Four.
no.
I heard. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I did.
It took them.
You can
hear a lot of things.
It took
you
them
can see
45.
you can see the halfway point when the studio cuts in. Literally, you can see the moment in the movie where the studio goes, "Wait, this is a superhero movie. We got to stop."
Oh.
Yep.
Or Fantastic Four.
Yeah, Fantastic was not. A little bit of a disaster.
Fan Four Stick, and the director was douchebag, and the director was douchebag too. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah. The director and studio did not do well on that movie together, so which is the problem. Which is how it turned out so shitty. So.
Yeah, yikes. That usually is a recipe for disaster. And that's what we got. That's okay. They're trying again, like they're recruiting again.
Right. We'll have a new, better one in a couple years. They'll be all right.
We're just hoping that the next Power Rangers thing is also, because I know you're a fan of Power Rangers, and I know the most recent iteration did not do great. That just reminded me, again, some,
I like
Don't even get me started on that one.
But to be fair, I liked it because of the personalities of the characters and how they were very drastically different. And it was more that I liked this group of teens. Like, I thought they were so it wasn't necessarily for Power Rangers reasons, so I could see why other people wouldn't like it and why wouldn't.
I enjoyed it.
Like it reminded me of like the Breakfast Club, but with powers.
That's a fantastic description of Power Rangers.
And my best friend and I went to see it, and we loved it. We knew what we were getting. We were like, this is not Power Rangers that we grew up on. Duh.
Yeah.
It's going to be a new thing, and we enjoyed the hell out of it. It was our favorite movie. We made a point to go see it together because we hadn't hung out in like a year, so we were like, we have to go see Power Rangers. Come on. And we saw it, and we had a great time. So.
That's great. See, there you go.
It was definitely enjoyable. I mean, it had a lot of potential. I think the sequel had a lot of potential.
Definitely had potential.
It did.
But I mean, I'm glad they're not giving up.
So, if y'all are ready, do you feel like it is the time? Like it is time for spoiler reactions review? What do you think?
That's fine with
So
me.
you guys.
Okay, so Harley, you're good to go. I know that you do not want to be spoiled, so we will send you off. Godspeed, my friend. Excelsior.
I'll try to survive the wasteland of spoilers.
Maintain your purity, your innocence. Yes.
Maintain the force. Stay strong.
Yeah. Bye, dude. Thanks for coming on
Bye. Yeah. You guys have
again. We will. Okay. So Jake, are you staying with us for the spoilers?
Yeah. I already got spoiled. I
Okay.
know everything.
Are you
so.
sure? Okay.
I literally saw a clip of the very last scene where she said,
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that'll do it, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally saw that. So, saw the lightsaber, saw what she called herself, saw the ghost. I saw it. So, what was funny, though, it was funny because it was like at a screening and everyone was shouting at the screen. And they're like, don't say it, don't say it, don't effing say it. And they're like, where the F has been? I saw that, so yeah.
Oh my god, that is a fantastic segue into Cleric Alyssa's screening was particularly interesting, and there was I mentioned it in my review, which I'll also link down below for you guys, anyone who wants to watch it at home. I did do a review on The Rise of Skywalker, and the first 7 minutes or so are spoiler free, and I do give a huge warning for anyone who does not want spoilers before going into them, so you can watch that, and then there's the spoiler part. So I mentioned it in my review, but there is a moment in this movie and I'm sorry, Jake, but it's a moment that's supposed to be sad, and it ends up the way that they shot it just makes it comical, and I chuckled, and I felt so bad for chuckling that I did. Yeah. And then
so
I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah. So we're this is spoilers, so we can just describe the scene, right?
Yes,
this is
it's
spoilers.
Fine. Yeah, okay. This was your warning, audience.
Yeah,
this was your warning. Get away from here. If you don't want spoilers, save yourself.
Retreat.
Okay. Retreat now and don't come back. Anyways.
We'll come back for the next episode.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
But
come back for the next episode.
Just you think Ray did die.
Yeah.
And then he I guess he brought her back to life.
Kylo.
And in her lap, up, kiss, dopey smile, and then he dies. But the way they shot it, it looked like a seesaw. And as soon as he died, a millisecond after the kiss, everyone in the theater laughed.
Yeah.
He's dead. And the audience reaction was to laugh because it looked like a weird seesaw effect. Yeah. And they're like, you forced this redemption arc.
Yeah.
I think you could have somehow redeemed, he still did some awful things, but a lot of awful characters have got redemption arcs.
Yes.
He could have had one if it weren't for the fact that this was the last movie.
Yes.
If there were maybe 2 movies to go through and this was the beginning and then it continued, I would have been fine. Or if they even just gave it more screen time in this one, but they really didn't. To me, it really felt like a rushed redemption to get these 2 together, but they literally did all that, and he died after the first kiss within 5 seconds, and everyone just laughed. I didn't even mean to laugh. I was just the way they shot it, doing all of that just to kill him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I laughed. Some people laughed just unabashedly, they were just like, this is stupid, and they were really mad.
Hey, what was the point?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what they could have put so that they had more time for his redemption arc? All that retconning they did so much retconning from The Last Jedi. They just spent way too much time undoing The Last Jedi, and they could have spent all that time giving us a Kylo to Ben arc where he's actually redeemed, because they did force his redemption to go way too fast, and so we didn't actually get to know him. We didn't get to know Ben. Cleric Alyssa mentioned that.
I did the only time you really saw Ben for who Ben is supposed to be, because I think we all just through the whole movies he's the antagonist and he's Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
But I did see the actor, which is it's all the actor, Adam Driver. He gets the only credit for this because he had to force something where he's going after and going through the evil planet to get to Rey. Through this, he has small moments where you see that's not Kylo Ren, that's Ben. And I like Ben. He seems like if I got to see him more, I think I would like this person. There's a part where he jumps on something, he hits it he smacks his face as he's holding it, and he goes, ow. And and there's another part where he summons the lightsaber, and then with his other hand he just goes, and then he fights them. So he's like sassy, and I'm like, I like this guy, but he never really got to talk as Ben.
Yes.
As this redeemed
He got
character.
to have a dopey smile.
Yeah, which actually was super cute, but that was again just the actor. And of course the dying immediately. It was just comedic. It was comedic death, and I know it wasn't supposed to be. So that says something. Yeah. The whole theater laughed.
Yeah.
I did hear they kissed, and I kept hearing the word fan service. Like it was just a complete fan service or fan fiction kind of thing.
Yeah,
like, how it came off.
Yeah. Like the director wanted everyone who didn't like it to like this one, but instead the people who like The Last Jedi don't like this, and the people who didn't like The Last Jedi still don't like this. I don't even think they're gonna like this. Because I was around a group, I don't know, I forget why, but I was around a group who was clearly like, they were kind of the ones who didn't like it for like, not so understand, like some people who don't like it, I think they do have, like, I've heard a few that's like, okay, it's reasonable, but there are others where it's kind of clear, you just don't like it because the main character is a lady, you're not saying that, but if ever someone's talking about Star Wars, and they use the term female instead of woman, I'm like,
it's such an incel term. I'm sorry.
It's like, so I know that they were complaining about this new one, even though I'm like, I bet you were the same guys who were like, it's too different from the main one, but now you're saying it's a copy. You're not happy either way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now no one's happy because I think he tried to appeal to those fans.
He did.
But instead he threw the other fans that did like it.
Yeah.
Away in the garbage.
That's kind of what I'm hearing.
Too.
I did hear that people who liked Last Jedi wouldn't like this one, and the people who hated it like this one. That's what I heard too. So I mean, you're saying they wouldn't like it either. Then it's just The consensus I get is that it wasn't perfect, but it was enjoyable. Like you had a good time watching it, and it felt like Star Wars.
Yeah.
It wrapped it up, but I mean, it was what it was, I guess.
In the moment, I enjoyed watching it because I'm like, this isn't the worst movie.
Right.
But knowing a bunch of things afterwards, I do have reasons to critique.
Yeah.
So I still enjoyed the experience, but after looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah, there's a lot of reasons not to like it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Like you can still enjoy the experience if you don't think about The Last Jedi or this is a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, exactly.
If you just watch it for a movie experience, because you're in a theater, it's kind of hard for me to have a bad time in a theater.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was a great movie. I mean, in terms of enjoyment, in terms of entertainment, it's fine, like totally fun. Again, like in my review, I gave it a 6.5. I stand by that 6.5 out of 10. That's what I'm sticking with. But I personally would have given like The Last Jedi probably like a 9 or 10 out of 10. I'm serious. Like I really enjoyed it. Like she was, I think Cleric Alyssa was about to say, we both loved The Last Jedi. Don't understand the hate other than I guess you had an issue with it subverting your expectations. There's like a whole video I can link to down below from the Pop Culture Detective that really sums that up very, very well. I don't know him, but I love his video on that. So I'll probably link that down below as well if I can remember to do that. So anyway, but yeah, you're right. Honestly, Jake, it's frustrating because the people who it was pandering to didn't even really enjoy it. Like as a Star Wars movie, I literally talked to that Fandom Menace guy to see what he thought of it, and he said, "Hey, Black Angus is probably watching. Hey, dude." I literally talked to him, and I'm pretty sure that they were doing it to try to appeal the Fandom Menace crowd, right? And that's what it felt like to me too. And he literally said he'd give it like maybe a 5 out of 10. Like his critique was even harsher than mine, which I felt pretty harsh giving it anything less than like a 7. I usually feel harsh doing that. But yeah, like it's clearly it didn't work. Like they could have just spent all of that time actually going along with the story as it was laid out by Rian Johnson. Like just
it felt like they were the type of fans that they probably weren't going to like it no matter what you did to it.
Yeah. So
trying to appeal to them was sort of like when you already had a fan base. Yeah. If you're going to do it at all, you probably should just write a good story.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Right.
Exactly. But like I'm more critiquing the director than I am the actual movie at this point. Because at first I was like, "Oh, these are weird choices. I wonder why this movie isn't flowing as well as the other one." Because when I first watched it, I didn't really keep up with it too much. I didn't until watching your review, where I realized it was a difference in director, and that retconning was a bit of someone being like so purposefully changing what happened before, trying to fix the canon in order to appease the demographic that had been like pushed away. And I don't think it did it. I don't think that was a good choice.
It wasn't a good choice.
You never want to just do things to appease the fans. I mean, I think it's okay to listen to your fans.
Except for Sonic.
Yeah. Okay. That was the time that it worked.
Everyone needs to go see that. They like the one time everyone's like, no, listen, please don't. And then they fixed it, and I'm like, you know what? I didn't even think it was that bad, but seeing it side by side,
that is exactly how I felt. Like, this wasn't that bad, but you guys somehow upgraded like a ton. So they better support it. That's the exception. Sonic is the exception because they nailed it like 100%. But I mean, I think it's fine to listen to your fans. You want to keep them in mind, but I mean, you can't let your fans write your story.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I kept saying, it just looked like he just took a bunch of lines from Reddit. Like, one person write one line in the script, and the next person write the next one, and you just put it in the actual script. And I saw a picture that said written and directed by Reddit. And that was pretty funny. It was like a meme.
Accurate. Oh my god, yeah. It was somebody's fan fiction that came true. Which became a reality, which is, I've watched some, like, at least one or two videos on, like, Raylo fan fiction, which is so hilarious. And I'm sorry, but, like, fan fiction, most of the time, there are some very, very good ones. I've read very good ones, but most of the time, they're written by people who don't know what they're doing because they're fans writing fiction. And so they should probably just stay on the internet, and that's okay. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm not...
We would have never gotten 50 Shades of Grey. Sorry.
That is true.
Shade.
That is true.
All 50 shades.
50 of the shades.
We all universally hate it, so I'm sorry.
I can't. I'm try to be neutral, but with that one, I will not. No, I will not. I will not.
I didn't read it, but I've seen certain lines. I've seen lines, and I asked my mom, I was like, did they really put this in the book? Like, is this line really in the book? She said, yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, because I'm a fan. Oh, no.
No, but she recognizes what it is. I think it's more of like I know what this is, but, I guess, I don't know.
I hate it. Because I know there's a part in there when she uses the safety word.
Yes.
And he keeps going. Yeah. And that's literally the biggest no-no. Yeah. And so I'm like, that's enough for all of it to be trash to me. Because they also don't address it. If maybe that happened and they addressed it, like if he got repercussions and they pointed out how that's wrong, then then maybe I'd give it more of a chance. Yeah. But that happened. It was shown as something weirdly like it was like a thing, but it wasn't like addressed. Yeah. And it's just no. They romanticized it, and I'm not here for it. Not here for that.
Yeah. No, I know the BDSM community was very offended by that whole series.
Yeah. Because that's not BDSM, that's just abuse.
That's just abuse.
There's no consent involved.
It's literally
she took her consent back.
The safety word is the no.
Yes.
It's saying no and then still going.
I think they brought it back up because she's now, I guess, writing a queer version of it. So they're like, this is even worse if you're going to do this. Yeah. That's what I heard. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to offend a whole different community now.
Yeah.
She's going across the board, batting 1,000. Great job, E.L. James.
Yeah.
Yikes! That's a yikes for me. And she was writing one. Wasn't she also going to do the thing that that the Twilight author was going to do? Stephanie Meyer was going to do with, but with Christian Grey, like where she was going to write from Christian perspective.
I think she did.
She did.
I think it was called Grey.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they're.
Which is weird. Like, just write another story. You
But
don't
that
have
was
to.
for her to come up with her own material. She clearly can't do that.
Isn't that mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But why?
Ryan Reynolds in the house.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
That's my
like,
favorite one to do.
No.
just write another story.
Perfect.
Sorry, Jake.
We just have a little game on this. It's okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just saying, like, I mean, just write another story. I don't understand
Yeah.
why. Because you're literally writing the same thing, just from a different point of view. You add in a few things. You add in a few things where he's on his own, I guess, and you see his life. But it's like you could have did this in the same book. It's just dual points of view. You could have done this in the first book anyway.
If it's okay, so 100% agree with you. If it's not too much, this is completely off the cuff, so we don't have to talk about this. If you don't want to, I can just do our outro and that'd be it. But I was wondering if you wanted to discuss, because it's relevant, I just thought of it, the J.K. Rowling stuff.
I was literally just thinking that because I wanted your perspective.
Me too, and that's why
Yeah.
I thought I would like ask, but only if you're comfortable, bro.
Yeah.
Because like it could really, I know that was probably really hard for you to like, you know.
Yeah,
see
that wasn't a fun day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that I don't agree with her supporting that woman. I think
Right.
that's the line. I've defended her a lot. I defend her a lot on a lot of stuff. You know, I've defended a lot of stuff. But I mean, that one I can't and I won't defend because that I don't know if I can call JK transphobic. I don't know if I can call her, but that woman is. And
absolutely.
yeah,
She's-
that woman is. And
yes,
for that.
And you defending her is
Yeah.
pretty bad. So like I still love her, I still support her, but like I can't defend her on that one, you know. So 100% behind the trans community because that wasn't good. So yeah, we can talk about it. That's fine.
Okay, great. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, like the tea and everything that happened, so essentially there was a woman who was fired for being transphobic, and her defense of herself was, well, I was just stating that, you know, science says that there's only, you know, two sexes. And it's like, no, that's not all you said.
Mhm.
You know, she also was making tweets that were making her colleagues uncomfortable. She was she was making transphobic tweets about gender that were making her colleagues very uncomfortable. This wasn't about biological sex. This was about gender. And this is completely different. And
also, biological sex isn't necessarily even on her side because there's intersex, and it's still like
exactly.
It's still hard. You just pretend that doesn't exist.
Yeah, and they never mention it, and they never bring that up. And you know, the thing is, this woman was definitely a TERF through and through. Which, again, for those of you who don't know, is a trans exclusionary radical feminist. Just, you know, feminists who specifically do not acknowledge trans women as women, which is gross. We don't do that here. There's no room for that in feminism. Feminism is equality for everyone, y'all. Anyway,
intersectional. It's
exactly. So, yeah. Anyway, so this woman she got herself fired, and the thing is, I can tell that. I agree. There's a theory that people or it's a conspiracy theory that's going around where she did this on purpose. She knew that this would get her fired because she consistently did it even after receiving warnings from her colleagues and from her higher ups. And she consistently did it so that she could sue and get a lot of clout and all of this. So yeah, so clearly she's garbage, and J.K. Rowling stood up and literally said, #I stand with Maya, you know, and she stood with her in her terrible decision. So that's really gross. So that's the tea, and clearly we do not support that on this channel. But unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to really delve into it too much because I've got to do our outro. I should have charged my phone more before this. I'm so sorry, y'all. But we can talk about it more. At least I would love to get your opinion, dude, in the chat, and you know we can kind of talk about it a little bit more afterward. Is that cool with you?
Yeah,
I'm so sorry that happened because you know, as fans of the show know, Jake is the biggest Harry Potter expert and fan, and there's still nothing wrong with that at all. So
before we go out, the one good thing that I thought about it was that because she had ingrained such acceptance the fandom didn't really
That's
defend
true.
her.
That's
They
true.
were like, we love what you created, but because almost we love what you created and what it stands for, we are not supporting you on this subject. And I kind of thought that was really cool, because instead of digging their heels into and defending her, they were like, we can appreciate what she made and know that this choice in particular is not something we're going to support.
Absolutely.
And I thought that was actually really cool of her, of her, actually.
For sure. Yeah. Again, thank you guys so much for watching Radiant Damage Podcast. We really appreciate you guys watching. If you'd like to become knighted in our medieval army, please click subscribe and you will immediately become knighted. It is 100% effective every single time.
Don't be afraid of the sword that appears. It's just going to touch your shoulders. It'll be fine.
It'll be completely fine. Nothing to worry about. We're with you in spirit. And in magical swords. So also, if you like this video and you want to see more from us, please click the like and leave a comment if you'd like down below what you thought of our episode, what you thought of all this news coming out. Did you see the rise of Skywalker? What did you think? Anyway, let us know down below. Thank you guys again and have a fantastic time. Godspeed. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.